their camper's gone. They must be doing something with it. I don't know. It's a lot better to speak to somebody face to face. You know, for if they have any questions. And it's a good thing to do that. You know, now what if if I try the shoes on and I walk off with them and I don't pay you? Now I just gained or walked away with more fucking money than I walked up with. And you get burnt. You know, that's how I'm basically saying with this fucking Porsche pickup shit. You know, blah blah blah. Oh. You know, so, and now with the sledge, I had that for 2 weeks, if not 3, I forget. I bought it on the day of my birthday. My birthday was March 21st, and we're, you know, April 5th. Yeah, I think about 2 weeks. And so and it was a Saturday, you know, obviously, you know, that my birthday was on and also when I messaged on the sledge. And, you know, I asked if it was available. Said yes. Are you interested? I said yeah. Are you willing to? I said yes if you're willing to bring it to Green Bay for, you know, if I gave you asking price. He's like yeah. I asked if 2 o'clock was okay because we had to do something beforehand. After, you know, between, you know, after Grandma's is what I'm saying, is we had to do something after Grandma's. Wasn't gonna be fucking home until 12:31-ish. We had to get, you know, some free time, so that's why I said 2. Oh, Keegan went to get the subs for his car, or we went to get the subs for Keegan's car, and whatever, and I had to get lunch and all that and eat yet too. And he's like, no, well, would 4 o'clock work? I'm helping somebody move right now. And I was like, yeah, that would be fun. Okay. You know, I should have told him, no, I need to, 2 will work because I got to be at work. I should have told him I got to be at work for 4. I should have lied to him and said that I gotta work. But we ended up planning on 4, and then he hit me back, or messaged me back up and said, hey, explained himself. Said, hey, would 5:30 work? I'm kind of running a little bit later than expected. I was like, what, he said 5:30. I was like, yeah, that's fine. And Dad's like, was that him? I was like, yeah, he had to push the time back again. He said, what? Dad said, what, too? I said about 5:30 roughly. He's like, okay. 5 hit, nothing. Didn't show up. 5:30 hit, still wasn't here. Dad's like, well, what the fuck is going on? You know, I said, you're gonna have to call it off because we got shit to do. You know, we had to go get food for supper. We had to eat. Blah, blah, blah. Surprised Dad's outside yet. I think the garage is still open. Yeah, it is. You know, so then Dad's like, fuck it, we're gonna go to festival. He messages you, he messages you. You know, so then Dad's like, you know, we're going and da 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 da. Dad's like, what's your ETA? And the dude's like, oh, what? Dad said ETA. Must be doing something in the garage. You know, and then he because then Dad said, expanded it and said, put, in full words. Dad said estimated time of arrival. What time are you roughly going to be here? Dude, so then that was that festival. Didn't even offer to back up. Stupid. He's like, oh, 6 minutes, and at that time we're walking out. Oh, festival. And that was when we were walking out of festival. He said 6 minutes. I gave him a thumbs up, and Dad's like, well, here's what you do. You give him until 6 o'clock, and if he doesn't show up, you're done. The deal's completely off. He said, you're done. The deal's completely off. I was like, okay. That's why I go to you for Facebook shit, because it's... because you're helping me, you're gonna help me with that shit. You're good at helping me with that shit. So then he finally fucking shows up. And I appreciate that he's, I understand he's fucking busy, but be like, hey, still busy, sorry, I'm gonna try to still shoot for 4, but as of right now we still have a lot to do. But I'm still gonna try to shoot for 4. Be there for 4. And if anything changes, I'll keep you in the loop. I'll keep you updated. Which is how it should have fucking been. fucking dog in your yard. You know, so then he finally fucking shows up at roughly between 5:30 and 6. And fucking showed up. I wanted to just fucking tear in and into him. I'm like, dude, I understand that you're. I know this is how I wanted to say it, but I just kept my mouth shut. Dad also said, just shut up and don't fucking say nothing. You know, I wanted to tell him, I know you're fucking busy.